how to avoid penalties on early IRA distributions. That's what we're going to talk about today on the channel, and make sure you stay tuned to the very last tip, because I'm going to show you how to use your IRA early if you're wanting to retire early, use it for retirement income, and not pay a penalty on your IRA distribution. Now you understand, if you take money out of your IRA before the age 59 and a half, you will get penalized 10% of the distribution that you take out. So if you take out $1,000 from your IRA before the age of 59 and a half, the IRS will penalize you $100 for that distribution, plus you'll pay taxes, ordinary income, on that distribution. That's why you need to understand, how do I take money out of my IRA without paying a penalty if I'm under the age of 59 and a half? And keep in mind, an IRA and a 401k are two different vehicles. I'm only talking about a traditional IRA today. So if you want to take money out of your 401k, I have other videos on this channel giving you insight on how to take money out of your 401k without taking a penalty for doing that. You'll always pay taxes, but we're trying to avoid the penalties. So the first way that you can take money out of your IRA while avoiding a penalty is for medical expenses. Now, if you have medical expenses in excess of 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, you can take money out of your IRA as a withdrawal, pay those medical expenses in the same year, and you'll avoid the 10% penalty. You'll still pay taxes, but you will avoid the 10% penalty. Hey, let me cut in right here real quick to encourage you, if you're going to take money out of your IRA before the age of 59 and a half, you don't want to pay a penalty on that money, make sure you talk to a CPA, your tax accountant, your financial advisor, or call me to make sure that you're doing it correct. You need to make sure you do it correct, because if you miss it, the IRS isn't going to give you a mulligan. They're going to say, pay me your penalty. Alright, the second way you can take money out of your IRA without paying a 10% penalty if you're under the age of 59 and a half is what is called a qualified higher education expense. And what does that mean? That means you take money out of your IRA and you use it for higher education expenses, tuition, books, room and board, things like that. And that could be for you, it could be for your spouse, it could be for your child, it could be for your stepchild, or it could be for an adopted child. If you take money out of your IRA and you use it for a qualified higher education expense, then that money will avoid the 10% penalty. You'll still pay taxes, but you won't have a 10% penalty on the distribution. If unfortunately you find yourself unemployed, you can use your IRA to pay for your health insurance premiums without paying the 10% penalty. How do you do that? You have to be on unemployment for 12 consecutive weeks. Now, it can be at the state level, it can be at the federal level, it just has to be 12 consecutive weeks. And you can only use the money for premiums that you have paid up into the amount that you've paid. So if you've paid $5,000 in health insurance premiums over that 12 consecutive weeks, you can take out $5,000 from your IRA without incurring the 10% penalty and use that money to pay your premiums and not pay a 10% penalty. You can do this for yourself, you can do this for a spouse, or you can do this for your dependents, your kids, your stepchildren, or your adopted children. Alright, speaking of children, you can actually take a distribution from your IRA for births or adoptions of new children into your family. Now, there is a limit of how much you can take out of your IRA to pay for a birth or an adoption. That limit is $5,000, and if any of you have had children, you know that is not enough. But what you can also do, if you and your spouse both have an IRA, you can take out $5,000 from each IRA for a $10,000 maximum distribution without paying the penalty for a birth or adoption. Alright, another way you can take money out of your IRA without paying a 10% penalty is if you're doing a first-time home purchase. And what that means is you're taking money out of your IRA to purchase a home, a first-time home. Now, there is a $10,000 lifetime lifetime limit to taking this out. So that means you can only take $10,000 out of your IRA to buy a first home. If you do that, you won't pay a penalty, but you will pay taxes on that $10,000. Now, when you take out that $10,000, you have 120 days to use that $10,000 for a qualifying purchase. So make sure you're not taking out that distribution until you're at closing and you're ready to use that money. Now, you can use this money for yourself, a spouse's first-time home, a child's, or even a grandparent. So the first-time home purchase gives you a little bit more leniency when taking out money from your IRA to avoid the 10% penalty. If you are a military reservist and you're called to active duty for longer than 180 days, you're allowed to take money out of your IRA without penalty and use that for whatever you want. So if you are in the military reserve and you are called to active duty and you need your IRA, or your family needs money in your IRA to live, you're allowed to pull that money out, not pay the 10% penalty. You will still pay taxes, but you can do that no matter what age you are. And thank you so much for serving our country. Is disability. Now, disability means that you cannot engage in your current job or any meaningful work that is similar to your current job. If that is a situation that you're in, you are allowed to take money out of your IRA without penalty. Now, there's two stipulations to disability. Not just that you can't do your current job, and not just that you can't find another job similar to your current job, but your disability has to either be leading to death or it has to have a long duration. So you can have a long duration disability that doesn't lead to death, or you have a disability that could lead to death, and that's what the IRS qualifies as a disability. And if that's you, you can take money out of your IRA without a 10% penalty, but you still pay taxes on that money. Now, remember, the first way you can take money out of your IRA without paying a penalty is medical expenses. So if you have a disability, normally you have high medical costs. And so you can use both of those to take money out of your IRA without paying a penalty. Another way that you can take out money from your IRA that you definitely do not want to do is to die. If your children or your spouse or some other party inherits your IRA, they can take out that money without penalty at any time. They'll still pay taxes, but they can take out all the money, no matter how old they are, without penalty. Now, keep in mind, if you're married and your spouse inherits your IRA, they can take a spousal IRA from that and consider it their own. So now the IRA becomes theirs. And if it becomes theirs, now it starts to fall under the 59.5 penalty again, which is why it's so important you want to work with a financial advisor, a CPA, or a tax accountant when you're dealing with these tactical IRA laws and rules. Now, when your children or someone who's a non-spouse inherits your IRA, that's called a beneficiary IRA. And there are special rules for them to start taking distributions from that IRA, depending on if you were over the age of 72, under the age of 72, and how old your beneficiary is. Again, it's why you need a financial advisor to help walk you through all this. And that's something that I would be honored to help you with. In the comment section below is a free retirement booklet called The Roadmap to Retirement. Click that. It talks about some retirement income strategies, and it's free for you. But it's also a way that you can get in touch with me. There's a little box that says, yes, I want to talk to Drew, and we can get together. We can talk about your IRA and the ways that you can handle withdrawals from your IRA, but we can also put together a tactical retirement income strategy to make sure that you get to retirement, through retirement, and you protect your ability to stay in retirement. Now hold on right there. I've got one more special, important retirement income strategy for you, especially if you want to take money out of your IRA under the age of 59.5. All right, the most important way for you to take money out of your IRA without paying a penalty is what's called a substantially equal periodic payment. Now, the only reason why you would do a substantially equal periodic payment from your IRA is if you are deciding to retire early. So if you're asking the question, can I retire at 55? Can I retire at 50? You're probably going to be looking at doing some substantially equal periodic payments, especially if most of your retirement savings and retirement investing is done inside of an IRA. And what is a SEP? An S-E-P-P. Well, most of the time it's referred to as a 72T, and a 72T is just a fancy IRS term for taking out distributions from your IRA in substantially equal periodic payments. And there's 3 ways that the IRS is going to allow you to set up substantially equal periodic payments from your IRA. The first way is the amortization schedule. The second way is the annuitization schedule. And the third way is the required minimum distribution schedule. Now, I don't want to get into these. These are way too technical and it will put you to sleep. Do a simple Google search and you will find out what each of those 3 calculations entails. But a 72T, you need to be aware of a few things. If you're going to do a 72T, you must do what it says, substantially equal periodic payments. And you have to do those payments for 5 years or age 59 and a half, whichever is longer. So if you retire at 45, and you're going to do a 72T from your IRA, you're going to take out payments from your IRA, substantially equal periodic payments for 15 years. If you're 58 and you're going to do a SEP, S-E-P-P, from your IRA, you're going to do it for 5 years. So 58 or 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. Because 5 years is longer than 59 and a half. All right, now the last thing I want to say about this, work with a pro or with your institution. You need to work with your institution like Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, or work with a pro like me, especially when you're setting up 72Ts or substantially equal periodic payment schedules. Because listen, if you mess it up, if you mess up your payment one time, whether that's 1 year in or 5 years in, the IRS looks at you and says, hey, all those penalties we let you avoid for all this time, no. You got to pay us all those right now. And so you want to make sure you do it correctly, especially if you're wanting to retire early. So thank you so much for watching today. God bless. Bye-bye.